Modules. So far all our code has been inside a script tag in the index.html file. For small programs like the examples in this section, this approach is fine. But when you use the ThreeJS library, you're using lots of code, and if we try and keep this in a single file, it will become very hard to maintain the code. ThreeJS can be used in several ways, and the approach we'll use in this course is to use modules. If you open the folder Start Lecture 2_9, you'll see it has three files: index.html as usual, and point.js and rectangle.js. Let's take a look at the file point.js. Using the extension .js means this is a file containing JavaScript code. This file just contains the code we entered for a point class in the previous video, but there is an additional line at the end: export point. When we use modules, we use the keywords export and import. We can choose what to export from the JavaScript file. If the file contains classes and functions, we can select which are exported, leaving others private to the file. Whatever we're exporting goes inside curly braces. Yeah, JavaScript loves its curly braces. If there are more than one exports, then the names are separated by commas. Now take a look at the rectangle.js file. You probably guessed that this contains the code for the rectangle class. But if you recall, the rectangle class needs to know about the point class. Notice at the start of the file there's an input line: import point from point.js. Again we use the ubiquitous curly braces, then a name used in the export line from the file chosen as the from path. We use .. to indicate the current folder, the folder you'd find the file doing the importing. In this instance, index.html. And .. will move the folder to the one above the current one. All from paths must start with either .. or .. When we use modules, we need to inform the JavaScript compiler, and we add type equals module to the starting script tag. If you look in the index.html file, you'll see it makes use of the point and rectangle classes, just like in the previous video, but there's no indication of a module or any attempt to import the necessary files. If we open the page now with the developer console open, you'll see uncaught reference error, point not defined. Can you fix this? You'll need to make sure that JavaScript knows that this is a module and specify import lines for the point and rectangle classes. Pause the video now and see if you can write the necessary code. Nice and simple. First we use type equals module, so JavaScript knows to interpret this as a module. Then we use the keyword import, followed by what we're importing in curly braces. Then where we find the necessary file. Because the file's in the same folder as the index.html page, the path starts with .. This is interpreted as the same folder as the file that is importing this external module. Now, if we save and refresh the browser, we get the log messages that we got in the previous video. Using modules allows you to reuse code you create and makes your code much tidier and easier to maintain. We'll be using modules as we start to develop examples using the ThreeJS library. One thing new programmers find confusing is scope. You probably have no idea what I mean. Well, let's address that in the next video. Catch you there. This video comes from my Udemy course, The Beginner's Guide to 3D Web Game Development with ThreeJS. Get the full course by following the link at nicklever.com/courses.